Good morning, sunshine. Thanks for being with us for this morning show based on mental health, mental strength, and just overall well-being. I'm one of your hosts today, Brandon Lee, alongside my very good friend and colleague, Carrie Pena.
We're going to talk right now about what's going down, and it is a very positive movement, especially, as a mother to young children. There's a backlash about edited, overly curated photos, and there's a movement to be more real. Right?
So there's this new Be Real app, right? And essentially it'll send you an alert, and you have to take a picture of yourself in real time within 2 minutes or you miss that window.
Yeah.
And what it's really trying to do is get you away from the filters, get you away from that fake looking lifestyle that truly does not exist, and really kind of trying to capture you in that moment.
Yeah, where are you in this moment?
Right.
Don't run and put a whole bunch of makeup on. Yeah. I've been holding myself to account a little bit too on that.
Have you?
I have been trying. Have you seen my feed lately?
No, I'm going to make sure we download this app for you.
I don't do the filters. I'm not doing it. And now we want to bring in a very special guest, welcoming to the studio our friend Stephen Macias, who is the president of Optum Arizona. Stephen, come on in here and join us. We're welcoming you here for the first time on set, and we're excited to say that Optum Arizona is now working with us here as a partner on our show, Good Morning Sunshine.
Yeah, it's so great to partner with Optum Arizona and to have this collaborative partnership. And our mission here is to help educate the public more about healthcare in general. But to partner with you guys, we're really, really excited about the partnership and to help you guys, share some of your stories to get it out there and connect with the public and the people you're trying to serve. Stephen, I want to start with asking about your why. I think all of us, this show, Good Morning Sunshine, was created because of our collective why, right? To help people and to help educate people about mental health, about behavioral health, and just overall mental health and well-being. My why is what wakes me up every morning to help people with substance use disorder at Art of Our Soul, right? Yeah. That is my why. That's what fuels me. It fuels my passion. What is your why as a healthcare leader? Why are you doing what you do?
Yeah, it's a great question, and thank you both for having me. I'm humbled to sit here and talk about this. It is really beyond a passion project for me. My mother actually was in healthcare for 37 years. She worked for a local carrier in town. And alongside of that, I started my career in social work. I was actually a case manager working with adjudicated youth. I worked for a fine organization in town. I was located in the heart of Glendale, Arizona. And along the way, as I was working with these youth, as I evolved my career, started working with folks with serious mental disorders, I really started to notice that there was a disconnect, a gap between the system, if you will, and those that were receiving services in a creative way, let's say. And I always thought, gosh, why aren't we talking more as an industry? Why aren't we connecting the dots? And I really didn't know it at the time, but what I was looking for was a way to bring behavioral health and bring mental health, physical health all together. And you can add different components to that, spiritual. Right. But it really, for me, was I really think there's a better way to address the gaps in care. And that's what I get up every day and think about is how can we intersect with the community? How can we provide solutions in partnership with the other community partners and really dive deep into the needs of those that need it the most and meet them on their journey where they are, frankly.
Optum is very focused on patient experience, and you have this program called CI Care, and this is standing for Connecting, Introduce, Communicating, Asking, Respond, Exit.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, so when you think about the acronyms and how they apply, communicate, how do we want to be communicated to as individuals, as humans? How do we collaborate and connect with people in a way that integrates, how many people with what we've gone through are sitting home alone, they're isolated, they maybe have mobility issues. I'll tell you a quick story. So at one of our centers, we actually had somebody that was challenged, mobility challenged, had a walker, and needed to fill out some very important paperwork to continue her care. So, she called the clinic and asked for assistance. Basically said, hey, can somebody come out and help walk me into the clinic? can we maybe get a wheelchair? But either way, I really need some help getting in there because I need to see my physician. So the team at Optum basically said, let's go above and beyond. Let's create a patient experience that she'll remember. So we actually took all the forms out to her car, helped her fill it out on the spot, and then delivered it, entered it, and then had a response and an appointment time for her right before she left, frankly. So that person is going to take that and frankly, live that, embody that, and talk to their friends and support team, and they're going to say, wow, these folks are maybe meeting us in a different way.
Meeting you where they're at.
Yeah.
I mean,
Where
that
they're
is
at.
the
Yes.
definition of meeting one
Yes.
of your members where they're at in that
Yeah.
point in their life in order to help them, lead them in that right
Yeah.
direction.
That's right. And you are reaching out into the community in a way that is very important to Optum Arizona.
I grew up in the Valley. So I'm actually born and raised in Phoenix. I went to high school in Glendale, Arizona. And to watch my community evolve so rapidly over the years, it really is going to take a special partner. It's going to take a partner that takes care delivery is what we do as an organization. That's just stopping at the door, but how do we walk through that door and do something creative and innovative? And we're all on that journey together, right? It's a community. We love partnerships, and I'll tell you, as we start to develop our resources and our presence here in Arizona, Maricopa County, Tucson, and beyond, really I'm excited about that. What can that journey look like, and how do we build that together?
Stephen, thank you so much for coming on. And this is just
Yeah.
the first of many visits for you here with us on the show as we talk about how people in this community and beyond can really be their own best advocates for health.
Yes.
And Optum is really looking to tell that story. So we appreciate you very much.
Thank you both so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
And now we want to share our inspired story of the day. I had the opportunity to sit down on my podcast, The Next Chapter, with the founder of State 48. And he talks about how he found success despite a lot of naysayers along the way. Take a look. This podcast is all about the next chapter, how people, got to where they are. Sometimes it's been a hard journey. Sometimes it's been a beautiful journey. But I like to talk about what lessons do we learn that take us to the next place. So for you, what has been the most challenging part of being an entrepreneur and coming up with a new concept? Because not everyone buys into it.
Yeah.
When you're like, hey, I'm going to do this whole brand all about Arizona.
Yeah, no, I love
Like-
that. Well, especially because again, I grew up here and that was rare. So like starting in 2013, I mean, you have your friends and family and everyone supporting, but it was so cool to see like it latch on quickly to Arizona. Cause like when we were starting a business, like what problem are you solving? Well, we were solving a problem of like just representing Arizona positive, fashionable way. But yeah, the journey's been incredible. Learned so many things, a lot of like what not to do, where not to spend money, more to invest into the right people, not try to do it all on your own. And there's so many lessons I've learned along the way, but it's cool. Like every day, I always strive to get better as a personally and professionally. But it's really cool just to like, I'm that hungry to want to continue to get better. And like how I've realized how much more mature I've become and be able to manage relationships better, especially with partners and such. But it's just, there's just always so much to learn.
Was there a point along the way that you're like, man, I just can't do this? It's just too hard, too overwhelming, too much.
Honestly, no. And we get that question often. I think the biggest key to our success is just the consistency and that vision of like, hey, we are going to make an impact in Arizona. But I've never really had that because we've grown year over year, which I'm really proud of. But it's just always because we've been smart about not trying to do too much. And we've also always listened to our community, our customers. They're the ones supporting your dreams. So like, it's not about us, it's about them. So I think we're good at that of making sure, hey, what are our customers telling us? What are numbers? What are sales? And then go off of that.
I love the life lesson in this story.
good,
okay,
right?
the life lesson is this. Surround yourself with positive-minded people, all right?
right.
Surround yourself with people who will always look at a glass half full, because if you are thinking about creating something, starting a business, if you surround yourself with naysayers and negative people, they can actually get you off the rails to creating your dream. So surround yourself with people who are ultra positive, honest, but ultra positive and supportive.
Especially when you're an innovator and you have that mind that you're thinking
It's a
of
crazy
the future.
idea.
It's a crazy idea.
Yeah.
You want to be around people who are like, yeah, I like
Yes,
that.
I like
Go
that.
for it.
Go
See
for
what
it.
you can do.
That's how this all came to be.
And now our Mind, Body, Spirit segment. We want to welcome Jesse Kim, the General Manager of Stretch Lab, in studio with us today. Thanks so much for being here.
Of course, thank you for having me.
We just a few minutes ago heard from the president of Optum Arizona, Stephen Macias, and you walked in the studio and said, oh, I know Optum, because they actually support their members going and being stretched out.
Yes, correct. So they have a program called Renew Active. It goes with multiple fitness aspects, but with us specifically, they cover 4 group stretch classes a month that members who are eligible are allowed to come in on a weekly basis to take the class, learn some stretching that they can do on their own. We provide stretch straps so they can educate them, at the same time give them that extra stretch that they needed weekly, while obviously being supported by their insurance to do so.
I feel like I'm about to ask you a loaded question here.
Okay.
Watch out.
Why is stretching so important?
Stretching can loosen up those muscles to the point where it provides more energy for the body. It allows for better circulation. I mean, there's a whole slew of benefits for it, but obviously if you're mentioning, 55 and older, movement, right? If you're spending most of your day seated or in bed, a lot of your body is not getting any action to it. Muscles have a natural ability to debilitate if they're not being used. Right, so if you're stretching, what it does is it provides a little bit of more facilitated movement for the muscles so that they don't deteriorate as much. And then that what in turn will provide you with more mobility, more flexibility, energy, range of motion. I mean, the benefits are endless.
Show us a few stretches, and
Yeah.
I know that you guys do such a good job of really taking people through, even if they're intimidated by stretching.
Yeah.
Because some people don't move their bodies.
Correct.
So the thought of actually getting into a deep stretch can be terrifying.
Yeah.
But so show us a few things that people could do maybe to start.
Yeah, most definitely. So obviously there's stretching that you can do on your own. What we do specifically is called one-on-one assisted stretching, where we put you through all the movements. So it's similar to if you work out at the gym and you have a trainer, the trainer guides you through it, teaches you things you've never known, and do so. Massage therapists obviously will do all the massage for you. You don't have to sit there and try to massage yourself, right? They also push you to a degree that you typically won't do yourself. You almost always limit yourself based off your innate ability for safety. You never want to over push anything to hurt yourself, but you should. So what we do is we provide that extra ability with some, I guess, scientific terms to kind of push you in a safe manner while pushing you to your limits and beyond that. Some of the stretches I'm going to show you guys today is things that people can do at home or at work, or I mean, honestly, even in the car, obviously at a stoplight, not driving. So the first thing that can do, this one, you can sit one hand under your butt cheek, obviously, lean to your right side or your opposing side, and then look up. What it does is you'll feel it right here in the front of the neck, which gets tightened up from all the computer work and obviously phone work that we do. And then from that position, I want you to look down, and then you'll feel that behind the neck. So a lot of people, again, with phones, computers, and work these days, they tend to hunch over and those muscles just start to get lax. What that does is it straightens you out a little bit so that, one, it releases a little bit of that tension headache that you can get from your shoulders. At the same time, it gives you some more mobility so that it's just not as, cringy and tight.
Yeah.
Okay. I would obviously recommend doing that either at a stoplight where you're not driving or at your desk at home, which a lot of people are working from home, or from work. And you can do it on both sides where you go tilt, you give it a little look up, stretches out the bottom, look down, it stretches out the back.
I wanted to also ask you about, when people have lower back pain, right? Oftentimes our bodies are all connected through our muscles, right? So if we're tight in the hamstrings, tight in the glutes, right, that's going to have a pull on other parts of our bodies. Tell us how just this simple act of stretching can actually help alleviate and be a pain reliever.
Yeah, most definitely. So a lot of people, I would say, 9 out of 10 people will suffer some sort of lower back issue, whether they've been active, whether they've been inactive, or they've never done anything physical at all. It's just from the lack of movement, lower back gets tight, right? And they think, oh, it's just back that needs some massaging or some work. Realistically, it could be that your hamstrings and your glutes are so tight that it's pulling onto the lower back. So kind of as you said, everything is connected. What we call, it's called the posterior chain. Everything behind you has basically been connected almost in chain loops. When certain things are too tight, it extends all the way up. So you could technically be getting a headache because your hamstrings are too tight.
Oh, that's
Isn't that fascinating?
That's really interesting.
Rather than just going in and throwing down like Motrin or Advil and
Yeah.
ibuprofen, right?
Yeah.
Really, what we would love to get people to do is go, what stretches can I do that could
Yes.
possibly alleviate some of this pain, so we're not constantly throwing pills down our throat
Exactly.
just to alleviate something in the short term.
And
Yeah.
we talk a lot about preventative medicine on this show. How can stretching sort of get ahead of any, problems that you might have on down the line?
It's funny you mention it as preventative. I actually mentioned that to a lot of our members. Rather than being reactive, you want to be proactive. So,
Right.
something hurts, I'm going to go get it fixed. Rather than that, if you work on yourself to the point where you are doing so much positive benefit that you don't have these issues, then that's what we're shooting for.
Yes.
So with stretching, obviously, you want to try to alleviate and lengthen out those muscles to the point where it doesn't cause the ability to knot up, to cause pain. So in terms of being proactive, yes, you can come in after you start to hurt. Or you could come in beforehand, work yourself on it so that way you never have to hurt.
And we're going to wrap things up, but do you want to leave us with one final stretch?
Yeah, I'll leave you with one more.
Okay.
Again, we do sit a lot. I mean, everybody, no matter what it is
Yeah,
that you
no
do, is
matter what we
sitting.
do.
So what you can do is clasp your hands behind your head.
Okay.
Okay. Look up and then pretend like you're trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then relax, squeeze, and relax, squeeze, and relax. Now you would do this in sets of 3, possibly 5, doing it in repetitions anywhere between 8 to 12.
Okay.
What it does is it starts to work those lower mid-back muscles that'll slowly pull you forward. So rather than sitting in this hunched position on a computer or a chair, it starts to open you up naturally. So people say, I need better posture. Posture is muscles, and the best way to work those is to stretch them out.
And if you're watching right now, please do share in the comments, what do you do to help alleviate pain? Are you a stretcher? Do you do yoga? What activities do you do? Go ahead and put those in the comments below. We can always find new things with all of us sharing kind of what our daily routines are.
And as Jesse talked about, it's so great to examine whether or not you might be covered in going to get some stretches.
As preventative care.
As
Yes, of
preventative
course.
care.
Yeah, it's
Jesse, thank
amazing.
you very much.
Thank you.
And now we want to close out on our sunshine story. And I'm so proud of this work we are doing alongside Gateway for Cancer Research. Gateway for Cancer Research has funded this massive worldwide study. And what is happening is this is called the PEDAL trial. They are setting out to fundamentally change how children with pediatric acute leukemia, including acute myeloid leukemia and other high-risk leukemias, are treated. So basically what's happening right now, nothing like this, as I understand it from the experts, has happened before. This is researchers at 200 sites worldwide, including places like St. Jude, are all participating with real-time research and hopefully real-time results that could advance the way children with cancer are treated.
I love the mission of that, focusing on children who are hurting, but I also love the fact that it's a community of
That's right.
experts coming together. I think so many times when studies are done, they're done so separately
In
and they
silos.
don't want, they're done in silos,
That's
they don't
right.
want to share each other's information, but here we have children who need to be cured and need to be helped. And I love that it's a huge swath of the medical profession coming together saying, hey, listen, let's all be in this together.
Yes.
And let's find a solution to this together.
It is so important, and you're exactly right about that with the research. So this is potentially a major breakthrough, and we'll continue to follow this. Jesse, we thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for bringing
Appreciate
some.
it.
I
Thank
just
you.
want
I
to go
can't wait to
stretch
get
out
over
right
there.
now. You
I'm
talked
gonna
about my
go for a
coffee
session.
drinking. I need another cup, and then I'll stretch. Thanks to all of you for watching Good Morning Sunshine.
And while you're here on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You'll notice there's a little bell notification button. Do us a favor, click on that. That way, every time we upload a new episode, you'll get an email alert sent to your phone so you can watch it. You won't miss out on a thing. From all of us here on Good Morning Sunshine, we hope to see you back here for the next episode.
Take care, everyone.